Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. It's time for me to install the rest of the wiring and other components of the engine that I've just put into Old Yeller. I'm going to start with doing the high torque mini starter with the addition of a remote solenoid to help avoid overheating. So I'm going to take you through my wiring process on that. It'll be brief, but it might help you out if you're in a similar situation. So let's get started. I will be following the instructions that was provided by Summit Racing for this gear reduction mini starter. I'm not always good at following instructions, but when it comes to electrical connections, I typically tend to follow those instructions. The rest of the other stuff I can just drag my knuckles through and hope that I get it right. So I'm going to start. Among things that I have to consider, it's positioning of the headers and also my aftermarket accessory drive, which is going to move over here to the front. I'm going to take this remote solenoid and I want to place it somewhere where I can get to, as opposed to up underneath the firewall or somewhere that's difficult to get to in the event I ever need to make any modifications. So I'm going to be looking along here to find placement along the chassis to make a good ground and try to keep it out of the way. First thing I want to do is just check the positioning of my header. Now I am using a Headman header, shorty header, and so my goal is to try to be a little bit forward of the header underneath the frame, but make sure that it's not going to interfere with my serpentine drive, which I'm going to put on afterwards. I can mock this up, but I already know from previous application the header will not make contact with the starter. I did that earlier on. So I think anywhere forward of this edge of the block will be fine, even perhaps just underneath the mount. It's protected, so I'm going to go with that location. The mini starter has two connections, the spade bit here on the top and then on the main power terminal here just beneath it. And then I'm going to add this 2 AWG, a jumper wire, connect it, and then it will go to the remote solenoid. Now I'm going to take this 10 gauge wire and connect it to the spade bit.
It's a spade terminal, not a spade bit.
This will also run over to the remote solenoid, so I'm going to wire it underneath the engine mount here. Okay, I think I've got my desired location here on the frame, just forward of the edge where the lift or the passenger side head ends is about where I'm going to place it. I've got plenty of length on my wires. I'll go ahead and place my tape in here and okay, so I'm going to mark and drill my holes. Okay, so I got the solenoid all installed, connected to the starter, and all the connections are made. I'll move a little closer here. Maybe you can see. Lighting is not particularly good right now. But I've installed it here next to the engine mount. I've got all the wires connected. I do have one wire left that I need to connect, but I've got the small type eyelet on it, and that's a constant power that goes to my vintage air, so I need to replace the eyelet on that, and then I'm going to connect it over on the starter where the continuous power from the battery goes to, so it'll stay in. I think this is a good location. I do have one concern about this spot, and as I've got this hard line that's running, it comes over here, that's actually running to the wiper fluid line, and it is metal, so if anything vibrates loose and makes contact, I could have some arcing going on. So what I'm going to do is make some efforts to insulate around that wire, or that line rather, and move it, and then prevent that potentiality. So otherwise, I like the location. I think once I get the rest of the drive installed, I'll see if I have any space constraints or concerns. If I have to move it, I have to move it, but right now I like where it's at. I can get to it if I've got to disconnect anything, or I can get to it if I need to remove my power supply to it. So it's looking pretty good. I'll move around here. Let me steal my light source. And so it's coming right off the starter, goes up underneath the frame and comes over to the connection. Good location. Only two things on the starter. It's the main line going in, and then the 10 AG wire that's going off the spade terminal there, and then runs over to the solenoid. So all in all, satisfied with that. So thank you for your time.